I do remember one instance of a major fire, and I do equate this to my father. If it wasn't for him, I don't think most of us really would have survived that night.
Hey everyone, don't forget to subscribe, like, share.
Thank you, I'm honored to be here. There's two honorary guests in this audience, my father and my neighbor Carl as well. My name is Dr. Giuliano Basile. That'll come full circle here, so thank you. And Johnny Martin, Mr. Martin, as I used to address him, was a strong mentor of mine. And growing up, you should know I was born in Springfield, Massachusetts. My parents worked extremely hard to get us out of certain environments, and they did that. I do remember one instance of a major fire, and I do equate this to my father. If it wasn't for him, I don't think most of us really would have survived that night. We eventually moved into East Long Meadow. Studying wasn't my first priority, I promise you that. And you find different people in your life that make you feel good in the moment, but those people unfortunately aren't there for the long run. And you learn this throughout your journey. I too played sports, and I got involved with soccer very heavily, and that's where I found my passion. But I still struggle a lot with the reading and writing, and the math was subpar at best. I remember finally getting through my high school years, and it came time to apply for colleges. I was denied 6 colleges. I remember teachers and counselors telling me, hey, maybe try tech school. I was grateful because UMass Dartmouth had what was called College Now at the time. And College Now gave me the opportunity to meet one of my good friends. His name is David. He went on to become a nuclear engineer. I remember pulling out a book and saying, hey, you need to teach me how to read efficiently. And so he did. And I watched and listened to him as he read these words, and I could string together my own words. And eventually text-to-speech became prevalent, and then, of course, I used that technology to enhance my reading and writing skills. From there, I was always in search of something bigger and greater, right? I just didn't know what it was. Always trying to fill my cup. I eventually pulled out the Bible app and learned from the Bible really how to strengthen my reading. I got through the Bible twice from front to back. I do remember distinctively while in New Bedford, Massachusetts, riding my bike. It was a Wednesday, Ash Wednesday actually. Coming back, I see the congregation exiting this church, St. Francis of Assisi. And I remember going to that church door and asking the congregation if I could receive ashes, and I was told, unfortunately, the church had closed for the evening, sorry. And this moment hit me fairly hard because it almost felt I was at the gates of heaven, and I was told, no, you can't come in. So I was broken, and I went back to that church the following week, and I ended up becoming an altar server at 22 years old, and I would serve that church Monday through Friday and on Sundays. Got involved with the CCD courses and so on and so forth. Really got involved with the church. It wasn't until one day Father Harrington asked me to be a part of a burial service for a fallen Army Ranger. I had no idea what military was at this point. Of course I went. I watched as Army Rangers in their uniform in the backdrop and the casket in front of us. And the casket is always draped with the flag, and it symbolizes that person's patriotism towards their protection of our freedoms. And I remember this flag barely falling off of this casket. And I saw 3 or 4 service members jump out of their pews and try to save that flag from hitting that deck or hitting the ground. And I remember looking at those gentlemen in that pews, and I said, what do they have that I don't? So, fast forward, in search of becoming joining the military services, I eventually get hooked up with both the Marine Officer Selection Officer and Air Force Selection Officer. There were some delays with the Marine Corps, so I went to the Air Force. On my way home from speaking with the Air Force recruiter, I get a phone call from the Marine Corps recruiter for the enlisted side, asked to join what's called a police session. Next thing you know, I'm with 12 other guys, and we're carrying around this big log through the woods, running through the water, the streams, and so on and so forth, getting dirty. And I knew that's what I needed to do. I called my parents, said, hey, join the Marine Corps. asked for some help to pack up some of my gear, brought it all back, ended up giving everything I owned away. My car, my possessions, furniture, clothing, money. I left for Paris Island on January 7, 2013 with $20 and an ID in my pocket. That was it. Nothing else. Throughout that journey, I continued to pursue education, ended up becoming a mechanical engineer prior to joining the service, ended up achieving an MBA, started my own company, working for the Air Force Nuclear Weapons Center, writing policy for that crowd, and then from there achieved the doctorate of engineering. So I tell you all this because on my journey, I was right where you were. I was questioning what it is that I was going to be doing next in life. And I promise you, it's easy to get involved with some of the crowd and some of the kids that are just doing the same thing every day and not wanting to grow, not wanting to challenge you. It's easy. It's easy. Wake up, have someone tell you this is what we're doing because it's easy. If you challenge yourself and get into the things that are difficult, I promise you they will become rewarding. Never thought I'd have the opportunity to come back here. Tim talked about full circle, coming back to your base. I equate this to our roots, and I'm here, hopefully, that my words can help you grow from whatever challenge you're facing today. Thank you.
Hey everyone, don't forget to subscribe, like, share.